Hey guys, so I was actually talking about my self-harm more, specifically my cutting, but I'm gonna kind of just go into everything. So I started cutting when I was 12 years old. I started burning when I was 16, like burning my arm, not like weed, but burning, like self-harm burning. And when I was in the hospital, they didn't really address my cutting until I stole a plastic knife from, I think, lunch, and tried to cut myself with that. And during a room search, they found it, and were like, "What the fuck is this?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, cut myself the other day." And they're like, "What?" I was like, I got pissed off, stole it from lunch, and cut myself. It did not work very well, and it did not go well with my doctors. That caused my doctors to want to send me into long-term treatment, which is a mandatory 3 months. I obviously did not go there because I would not have survived, because that just would have killed me. I was there. I was in inpatient like for 13 days, and that was it. And then I went to outpatient. But when they had found my plastic knife that I used to cut, and I say that with air quotes because it's the stupidest thing I could have done. They're very upset, said that I'm being ridiculous and I'm just a little bitch and I really want attention. I was like, if I wanted attention, do you think that I would have made a scene, or do you think that I just wouldn't have said anything, which is what I did. I didn't say anything. I didn't think that I wanted attention. I just wanted to hurt, because being on medication had made me feel numb. So, I wanted to feel something. Being in there had me so sheltered. Not allowed to have phones, computers, nothing. The only way you could talk to someone was you could make one phone call, incoming or outgoing, every day, to one person. You couldn't call many people. You had one phone call a day. That was it. That was your only contact with the outside world, and you were only allowed to have your immediate family, as in mother and father, visit. I couldn't even see my little brother. The last time I saw him was the day before I went into inpatient. And I didn't see him for 2 weeks after that. And that sucked. The closest I was allowed to get to him was I was allowed to wave to him through the little tiny glass box in the door. That was it. That's where I saw my brother. The only time he came to see me in inpatient, they wouldn't let him in. And I was really upset about that because it was fucking stupid. It's so retarded. They, when I was in outpatient, the day program I had talked about in one of my previous videos, that's where they really had addressed my cutting and how to kind of cope. I hate that word with a burning passion. I hate that fucking word. And I call them hope instead. Like, I don't say cope, I say hope, because it's different. I like hope better than cope. Bizarre. But they really kind of taught us how to cope with our self-harm and our depression, this and that, the other thing. And the one thing that I really did get out of it was that if you can think before you do the action, then that's when you need to change the behavior. If it's just an impulse, then what are you trying? If it's just an impulse, you need to try to change your behavior. You need to not change your behavior. If it's just an impulse, you need to try to recognize that you are making a conscious decision to do this, and you need to reevaluate that conscious decision to hurt yourself. And when you make that decision to either do that or not do that, that's progress. Because you're now aware of that decision. And the biggest thing they really had us do was what calms you down. Playing my guitar, doing this, doing that, that all calms me down. So when you want to hurt yourself, go do one of those things. If you can't do any of those things, try and sit it out. Because what I did that really helped me was I had when I had come to the decision to cut, I would sit and say, okay, let's put this down. And if I still want to cut in an hour, I'll cut in an hour. Or 2 hours it progressed to. And then when I woke up it progressed to like, I'd go to bed and then I'd wake up in the morning. It was that type of thing. It progressed to the point where I could just keep putting it off and putting it off. And after a while, I just didn't want to cut anymore. And there was one night, which I think you guys are all aware of this, but there was one night where I had sat with the razor in my hand looking at the giant scars on my leg that I had really cut badly for, that I needed stitches for. I was looking at my scars, and I was looking at my razor, which had come from a pencil sharpener. It was brand new. And I was just about to rip through my leg again. And I looked at my scars, and I looked at my razor, looked at my scars, and I looked at my razor. I threw my razor across the room and said, fuck this, I'm going to bed. I haven't even thought about cutting since, because in that moment, I said, it's not worth it anymore. I put it off for 2.5 months at that point. And then I cut the night before, because I didn't want to think about it. I just, impulse, gonna cut. Made one cut, and then just kind of went to bed. I was like, fuck it. That next night, I literally had said to myself, fuck all of this. I'm done. I can't do this. And I stopped cutting. It's the end of it now. And that was October 2012. Yeah. Wait. Okay. So I was trying to think about like my hospital dates. It was 2012. Because I was a junior. Yeah, I graduated I was a junior in January 2012, so it was January 2012. Sorry that I messed that one up. I was probably thinking 2011, so I was like, oh, I started my junior year in 2011. Duh. Stupid. But, yeah, that's my little rant. Later, guys.